Want my girlfriend? Threaten me? Take my whole hitty life. I had a girlfriend. We were bad for each other, and unsurprisingly she was cheating on me. I found out in a rather dramatic way and had a full-on mental breakdown. Dude who she was cheating with had been fed a bunch of lies to keep him from talking to me, and he started threatening me with violence. Long story short, we broke up, she moved out of our place and into his place. I started therapy. A few months goes by and I realize in therapy that I wasn't just busted up about my EXGF but also my whole life. I decided to find a new job, a new place to live, everything. Got the ball rolling, and the day I got my new job offer, I saw an email come into our jobs at inbox at the company I was working for. I recognized the name as the guy who was threatening me, and now living with my cheating ex. So I referred him to my boss. Talked about how he was great, I'd only heard good things, and hey, because I was putting in my 2 weeks, they should definitely hire him. Dude comes in for an interview, I'm on the panel. When we're in the room together alone, he's like, "Dude, I'm sorry bro for all the things I said. Thank you so much for helping me out." I say, "No, sweat. She always had good things to say about you, and I know that she had a good picker. After all, she chose both of us," and we chuckled like polite people. He actually does okay in the interview and gets the job. That job was a shit show. I'm not exaggerating when I say that it is the worst job I ever had. The place that I was moving to was paying twice for a third of the work. I was so relieved to be leaving. When I moved out of my place a month later, my landlord asked if I knew anyone who was looking. Gave her the guy's phone number. That apartment was charming as UCK when you first see it, but was similarly absolute trash, but you didn't know that until you were living there. My buddy from my old job told me he got the call for it at work and jumped on it. So I knew he had my old hitty job, my old hitty place, and my old heating girlfriend. I hope he enjoyed my life more than I did, but somehow I doubt it. I do know that they broke up about 2 months later. Angry lady yelled at a special needs person at the gym, so we did a bit of trolling. This guy named Michael has Down syndrome, and he ISAT the gym with his father 4 days a week around the same time. He is very nice and positive. He yells encouragement and compliments to people working out. When he arrives at the gym and if he sees me, he yells very loudly, something like, "Ho, where are you? Glad I can see you." And if he likes my shirt, he tells me he likes it and the things he likes about it. Michael is a genuinely good person, and I love seeing him when I work out. When he's working out, he makes loud, ooh, sounds that sound like a cow going, moo, but without the M part. It is very loud, especially when he ice skating in the zone in his workout. If you've never seen him, you'll look up, see him lifting like a beast, and being the mature adult you are, can tell he has Down syndrome. Mind your own ucking business, and go back to your workout. Apparently that was too hard for someone this evening. A lady with her training group, about 5 people total, were working out next to Michael. How the gym is laid out, the aerobics stretching area is next to the dumbbells. Still plenty of room for everyone. Michael is doing his thing, having a great workout, but is getting very loud. His father is nearby working out on the machines near the dumbbell area. One of the ladies gets annoyed and walks up to him and yells at him to keep it down. *1 I know the father. We have similar jobs and talk sometimes about work. We both made eye contact and/or eyes widen. We are both thinking, WTF is wrong with her. Michael is not hurting anyone. Almost everyone has on headphones. Anyway, Michael said, "Okay," very loudly. That's just them, but it felt like a hilariously smart-ass response. Haha, everyone gets back to their workouts. Michael obviously is just as loud as ever making those noises. Lady gets iced, walks up to him, and literally yells at him to keep it down. Father is understandably angry, walks up to her, tries to explain to her that he's special needs and doesn't mean to be loud. They argue for a bit. I couldn't hear everything they said, but the conversation ended when the father yelled extremely loudly, "He's red." What the UCK do you want from US? Everyone stops working out and looks at her. Her face turns bright red and she sulked away. Everyone goes back to their workouts. The PettyRevenge part. My workout buddy and I decided that we really needed to work out our abs, so we did some sit-ups in the stretching area, next to their group, and grunted loudly when we got out the last few reps. They said nothing to us, though, but we still had fun. And #X200B, *1 while I was writing this, my workout buddy Saida thinks she was angry because they were trying to record a video and his noises were ruining the recordings. Didn't think of that. Now it makes sense why she was getting so angry. Michael probably kept ruining her takes. Edit. I tried to upvote everyone who commented. Also, please do not praise me or my workout partner. We didn't do anything really. That's why this is in PettyRevenge instead of Pro-Revenge. We only did some petty noise making to ISS Harif. I am too much of a coward to be directly confrontational to strangers. Sorry, not going to record Michael for useless internet points. Don't exploit special needs folks for internet clout. For those saying this is fake, you'd think I would paint myself and my workout partner as more of heroes instead of lackluster loud grunting noises. I'm a hitty storyteller for not making myself look more of a badass instead of a brat if this is fake. Wish I had some farts in the tank, though. Had the roommate from hell and couldn't get rid of her, so I made living with me as miserable as possible. This happened in 2008-2009, but I thought this community would appreciate the story. In 2008 I had just left my husband. I caught him heating multiple times, and I was just over it. A new girl, we will call her Amy, started at my JO band. We made a fast friendship. I was in the middle of packing up and moving out of my house. I needed a roommate for a new apartment I was looking at, because my wages weren't going to pay the bills. So we moved in together and lived peacefully together for a while. I was moving on with my life. I had gotten better paying job, was spending time with my friends, and he felt okay with life at the time. At the time I was 25, single, and not looking for anything serious, so I had a FWB who would stop over a few times a week. Amy was cool with it on the surface. It did not affect her in any way. My friend didn't hang out at our place. He didn't eat at our place. He didn't use our household supplies. My relationship with him affected her exactly 0%, but I guess she was a little green about the fact that I was getting some attention and she was not. She would flirt with him, go visit him where he worked, etc., but he absolutely not interested in her. Thesis where things started to go downhill. For context, she had been married a few times, she was 13 years older than me, and the dads had full custody of their respective kids. She was dating someone, but he was already in a relationship, so he wasn't about to commit to anything besides stopping by for 30 minutes after he worked the night shift every day. I tried to point out all the red flags, but she was convinced it was love. This dude used to hit on me constantly in front of her. He was very open about being in a committed relationship with his girlfriend, so I have no idea why Amy thought this was going anywhere. After a few months I met someone I wanted to be serious with, so we started dating. We will call the guy Tom. Tom and I got serious pretty fast. He was living in a horrible situation, so he moved in with Amy and I pretty quickly. I think it was after about a month of dating. So we have our room and she has her own room. The bills went from 50-50 to 33-34 to make sure things were still even. We had a shared kitchen, LR, and bathroom. After Tom moved in, she started openly hitting on him in front of me. Every guy the first had at my house, even just friends, she had to hit on. None of them ever took her up on it. Every single one turned her down, and I think this added greatly to her oncoming behavior. Over the next couple of weeks, Amy did a complete 180. She stopped paying rent, refused to buy any food, and would just eat whatever Tom and I bought, would not wash her dishes. We had 2 cats, one hers and one mine, and she would never clean the litter in her room, so her cat would use our hallway floor as a bathroom every single day. Every day when I got home from work, there was a big steaming pile of cat shit right inside my front door, sitting in the middle of a giant puddle of urine. My cat was locked in my room at night with her own supplies, so there was zero chance it was her. It was the same thing every morning by the front door. Whenever she was done eating the food she stole from me, she would set her plate with the leftovers on the kitchen floor for her cat to pick at. She would leave the plate there for days. To the point that if I didn't pick them up, there would be multiple plates on the floor with food in various stages of decay. All of my dishes started going missing, except for the cat's plates, of course. And what dishes were left, she refused to wash ever. She used my toilet paper, my laundry soap, even my tampons. This went on for about 2 months and it just kept getting progressively worse. She would use panty liners every day and would change them multiple times a day and stuff them in the garbage can in the bathroom. She would leave it there completely overflowing and spilling onto the floor for days until I caved and put on gloves and threw them out. The can would be full in about a week, so this happened a few times. That's not even the worst of it. My expensive DSLR went missing. I was a photography hobbyist at the time, but it was my dream to be a professional photographer and own my own photography business. I would shoot stuff for friends and family as practice, and one day I grabbed my camera bag from the shared living room, and as soon as I picked it up, I felt my heart sink into my stomach. You know that instant dread that grips you the second you realize something truly gut-wrenching has happened. I opened the bag, and of course the camera is gone. That was an expensive camera for that time of my life, and it was a gift from my parents, so I was truly devastated. I couldn't prove a thing, and I wasn't even sure how long it had been missing. It could have been her BF that took it, but either way it was gone, so now this is it. This is the last straw. I need this itch out. I went from nice girl to ucking psycho in about 30 seconds. I'm not the violent type and I hate confrontation. I'm not waiting for a ucking eviction to go through, and I really didn't have the money for that anyway, so here's where I start my petty revenge. Amy wants to live here with me rent-free, stealing my hitting on my boyfriend, and neglecting our cat, so be it. But it's going to be on my ucking terms. One vital piece of information. In my divorce, the ickhead moved back in with mommy and I took everything from the house to my new apartment, so I owned everything and the lease was in my name. I started by changing the Wi-Fi password and the computer password. The following week I had my cable company come and remove the cable lines to her room. I bought a small fridge for my room and a cabinet and put all my food and personal supplies in my bedroom and put a secure lock on my door. I hid my pots and pans. I locked up the soap and toilet paper. The cabinets were empty. I paid for it all, and I would be the only one using it. When her cat hid on the floor, I would pick it up and smear it on her bedroom doorknob. Overflowing bathroom trash cans filled to the brim with her panty liners were dumped on her bed. I removed the knobs to the washer and the dryer. I did everything possible to make her life uncomfortable. I did other small stuff. Anything that came to mind. A few months prior, Amy and I had been working at the same store and she borrowed another coworker's laptop. She ended up getting fired, but she never gave the laptop back and the coworker was really trying to get it back from her. Amy ghosted her, of course, so while she was out one day, I went in and took the laptop and gave it back to its rightful owner. Amy called the cops on me and said I stole her computer, but I explained what happened. She admitted to the cops that the computer wasn't hers and the cops said it wasn't their problem anymore. That one really made her hit me. She wasn't working at the time, so it's not like she had money to do anything or buy anything. She was literally just existing in a room in my apartment. She would disappear during the day, Booty have no idea where she was going. She moved out after about 6 weeks. When she moved out of my apartment, I didn't even know she had left. I just noticed she wasn't coming or going for about a week. So Tom and I cleaned out her room. She left clothes, broken furniture, a cardboard dresser, and 5 39-gallon garbage bags of trash we collected from the mass piles of panty liners, rotting food, and ordinary trash we found in the room. It's a miracle we didn't have roaches. I found all my missing dishes, silverware, and cups all covered in food and grossness. I just threw it all away. I wish I still had the photos though. Oddly enough, about 6 months later, I opened my back door to take out the trash and my camera was in a bag hanging from my doorknob. I know Amy definitely didn't return it. For about 2 years after, every time I would find out that Amy was living with someone new, I would message them and send them the photos of her room. Papers in the trash that had her name on them. Andy would tell them the whole story. One time it caused the people she was living with to throw her hit out on the porch. She had just moved in and they had small kids and they didn't want to risk it with her. I stopped after that. She knew it was me telling them too, so I figured I had sufficiently made my point, and #X200B, edit, she took the cat with her but not before she threw my cat outside. My cat was missing for 10 days.